fourth game in my On Your Bike series is Milk Race. Now this one, let me just get this loaded. This one's a little bit different. It was actually called 10 Speed in America, and it was rejigged in America to have an American map rather than a British map. But in the UK, the Milk Race was a cycling race, funnily enough, sponsored by Milk, basically. So they sponsored this race, and it happened for quite a few years. This one's tied in with the 1987 Milk Race, so it's a trip from Newcastle upon Tyne to somewhere in the south of England, and well, we'll see more about that when the game loads. Let's take a look at the packaging for Milk Race then, and the front cover, unsurprisingly, has some men riding bikes on it, and that's pretty much it for the front cover. Not much more to say there. Spine says Milk Race on it, not much exciting about that either. Let's take a look at the back, and we've got some screenshots of the game. As you can see, there's a UK map on there which shows the course of the Milk Race, and a couple of screenshots of the actual bike riding, which look pretty decent. And it's got a write-up about the game there as well. So you've got to cycle 1,000 miles. A superb race simulation designed especially to coincide with this year's Milk Race, which was 1987, as I mentioned. And inside the packaging we have some details about the Milk Race, which took place in May, it seems. Internationally acclaimed event. And look, it says On Your Bike there, how fitting. So you've got to try and maintain first position over all 13 stages of the race. That sounds hard. And on the inside, some more details about how you play the game and the controls. And also it has a map of the route for the Milk Race. So as I mentioned, it starts in Newcastle upon Tyne, goes down the country through Lincoln, Sheffield, Derby, Gloucester, over to Ipswich, and ends up in London. So quite a route there. I suppose they thought that this is a Tour de France but for the UK back in the day. And finally we've got the also available list again with mention of Mastervision and so on. Now, in what's a first for Mastertronic games that I've played so far, we have a loading screen, but we also have loading music, which you may recognise as being the music that I'm using at the beginning of my On Your Bike episodes on YouTube. The title screen itself is not spectacular. Unsurprisingly, it's a bloke riding a racing bike. Here's the spectacular title screen of Milk Race. Not much to say there, so let's get the game started using the joystick. So there's a map of the UK showing the route of the race, and obviously highlighting part 1 of the route, which is what you'll do first. So when I press fire, the game will start. Just before I start, I'm going to point to the rough area. This area of the screen here, there's a 10-second counter which is for time trials, which occur seemingly randomly throughout the course of the contest. If you fail those, then it's game over immediately. Also, a little bit over here as well is the indication of what the ground's like, whether it's uphill, downhill or flat. And if it's uphill, then you've obviously got to go higher up in the gears. So I'll start the game anyway. There's that stuff in the top right, as I was just mentioning. So the idea is you've got to race along, collect these milk bottles to boost your energy. The joystick just moves the bike around on the track. But the gears are done by pressing fire, holding the fire button down and pushing up or down. Right, so I did a time trial then and actually completed it. So basically you just manoeuvre your way down the course, avoiding the manholes which seem to have been left open. Occasionally cars will come up behind you as well, we'll probably see that sooner or later. My energy's going down like nobody's business here. Alright, so that's the first stage completed. So we're back to the map, and Well, I think that took about a minute to do the first stage, which looks like, I don't know, probably 50 miles or something like that, so it's not very representative of what the actual distances are likely to be, but as you can probably gather already, it's not the most interesting of games either. So we'll carry on with stage 2 anyway. This is the big problem, as you've just seen. If someone crashes in the back of you, they carry on riding and you just go flat on the floor, and it takes ages for you to get up again. That's very frustrating. So we're going uphill again. There's a car going past, as I mentioned. All these things kill you, or knock you off at least. Don't seem to be getting any progress here. It's slow going uphill. Right, there we go. Now we're moving a bit. Now it's... The most important thing really is to keep collecting the milk bottles, otherwise your energy just runs out really quickly. Graphically, and it's pretty decent. This is going to be close. Oh, that could be game over. Oh, just completed the stage just in time. Okay, we'll go again. Oh, let's see, that's just unfair because you can't even get going before someone runs you over. Found the easiest way to stay at the bottom of the screen. We've got a bit of a downhill slope coming by the looks of it here, which should, you know, can get going. Here we go, now we're moving. So the graphics are quite nice, a bit chunky as you'd expect from the C64, but the action of him pedalling like mad on his bike is quite cool, and obviously they're fitting a lot of sprites on the screen. The landscape's a bit unspectacular. Musically, great stuff. It's a David Whittaker soundtrack and very nice tune, I like it. It's very fitting for the sort of frantic nature of the pedalling as fast as you can as well. That was a nice easy stage. So I'll carry on until it's game over, but I won't be playing it again after that. It's a case of looks nice, sounds nice, not really a very interesting game. It's more of just an endurance challenge, which is quite fitting I suppose given the kind of event that it's simulating. There we go, get yourself up the gears a bit and you start to move a bit faster. And we're on a downhill again now, it seems. But it is unfair when things crash in the back of you, you can't do anything about it. I've never really understood the gears on bikes, so I don't know if going in a high gear up a hill's right or not. I'm making some progress now. 33 miles an hour, that's quite quick. Okay, we go again. That was close. Right, this is where one of them time trials starts again. This is probably where it's going to be game over. Because you only get 10 seconds to make it through a certain part of the course. I've got no idea where the beginning and end is. Oh, I think I did it. And they just sort of pop up with without any indication that they're about to start, which is very unfair. So anyway, as to whether it's worth £1.99, well, it looks nice and sounds nice as I've mentioned, but it's really not a particularly fun game to play. So I'm going to say no. Unless you're a big cycling fan, I suppose. And still I'm going on. What killed me then? Got no idea. You'll notice the background has changed a little bit here. It is now... Ooh, that was cool riding. It's now a town. Oh, I wasn't even paying attention then. to be honest, I'm a bit bored now, and you probably are as well, so I think we'll call it a day at this point.